What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Emperor TV, and today I will be doing a review on Bad Boys Dominican Republic, episode 3, season 3. Now, this is a little bit late. I had some stuff going on, and while I usually do my reviews Monday. At least I try to do my reviews on Monday, but I had some things going on. Had some things I had to take care of, so sorry if I'm doing this on Wednesday instead of Monday, but here you have it, the Bad Boys review. Now, sorry, doing it live, so I have to catch my breath a little bit. Hold on, y'all. So this week we continue with Sis Blue and John the Don still fighting on this sprinter from last week. It's the continuation. And John the Don throws something, and what I've realized every time Sis Blue and John get into it, Sis Blue, I feel like I've been saying Sis Blue. Is it Sis Blue or Sis? I don't know. But what I do know is every time he gets into it with John the Don, I mean, he always brings up he's gonna have something for him after the season, or he got it's always a threat after or before the altercation. So he's pretty much crashing out, pick on somebody else, fight with somebody else your own size. But at the same time, Sis Blue, you the one who snuck him on the sprinter. So don't be feeling some type of way when John and Don want his lip back. Just saying. Now, I honestly think it's really disgusting. John and Don talking about, if security wasn't here, I spit on you. And it's and from what I've heard from rumors, quote unquote, everybody been saying on social media that John and Don and Sis Blue like each other. What is this on here? Sorry, y'all. That they like each other, and I don't know if that's true or not. So, hence why they keep fighting. But anyways, however, Sis Blue didn't want to start a fight. He didn't want to go another round or another fade. And it's pretty much going down on that buzz with John and Don and Sis Blue. So on the other sprinter, it's pretty much calm. It's calm versus the other one. And you have Paris saying it was a long sprinter ride to do the jet skiing. So it was a headache the whole way there. And everybody's pretty much how many times they're gonna fight. So they finally show up to the destination, but they didn't even get on the jet skis just yet. When I tell you, it's it's crazy this season with how much fighting they're doing. But it is what it is. It's the comeback season, so it's been off for a minute. So yeah. So yeah, they finally show up. Check the Star is telling Island Boy, we're both Island Boys, but Island Boy is telling Check the Star that they have been talking about how they want him out the house on his sprinter. Now Check the Star is immediately he gotta find out who been talking about him and wanted him out the house. Mind you, Check the Star nor Island Boy are healed. At least Check still got that eye swollen shut, which is, yeah, in all honesty, yeah. So the boys are excited to finally go on the jet skis. Before they even start, John and Sis, John is telling Sis come here because he needs his lick back because Sis Blue has snuck him on the sprinter. But before that, John the Don attacks Sis Blue, and okay, he won that or whatever. But Sis Blue tells Jada to run that for him with John, after John clearly won the fight with him. Clearly, he's telling Jada to run that, so Jada and John run that. Honestly, I could say the fight, I don't know if it was a tie, who won, who lost. I don't think nobody really lost, to be completely honest with you. And you already know Jada and Sade had to run it before. Sade was like, we're not doing no jumping. Jada said, we're not doing no jumping. And After they both agreed, and after the John and Don fight, Jada and Shawty fought for the umpteenth time. John takes a water break, and yeah, they fought. And after Shawty runs up on Jada, mind you, Shawty had on a helmet. He did have on a helmet during the duration of the fight to protect this fight. I honestly wouldn't say that was a fight. That was kind of like a run-up, but hey. Okay, so they are finally getting on the jet skis. And looks like they're having fun. We learned that Ant was scared to get on the jet ski. He was scared to go jet skiing, even though it's his second time. Lucky, I want to go jet skiing. I've never been jet skiing, and I live in Florida, so lucky ninjas. Everyone was happy. Finally, I was happy finally seeing them have fun. Island Boy says it's a ball before the brawl. And now it's time to get back to the house. Do the house meeting. When they get on the sprinter, they talk about what happened. What happened on the other sprinter with Sade and Jada. Sade and Jada end up fighting, but pretty much on the other sprinter, they talked about Sis Blue and John and Don fighting on their sprinter, and Sis Blue's pretty much saying to the boys, like, I'm tired of fighting him. He's getting bully at this point, like, pick on somebody else. So mind you, Jada and Shawty are fighting the other sprinter, and it looks like obviously the other boys can see them, and Cozy is in his interview saying how the sprinter is moving from side to side. You have security, and that is dangerous. Like, that can cause a crash, or better yet, the sprinter could tilt. Like, it's just not safe fighting or being on the sprinter while a fight is happening. It's just not right. If I was driving the sprinters, I'd be mad with them boys. Ugh. Jada is trolling Sade, always trying to fight on the sprinter. And Shawty says he don't mind fighting Jada on the sprinter. It's more room for him, less room for Jada. More room for him and less for Jada. On the other sprinter, Paris is saying Pootie and Jada. No, not Jada. Oof. Paris is saying Pootie and Landon are used to reality TV because they've done that before. But it is some boys there that have not done reality TV before and are not used to it. And their mental is messed up. Check the starts venting, talking about how he grew up and dealing with violence. And then Ant opens up. You know, he's never lived in that type of situation and dealt with the cattiness. But he then says he'd vote for himself to go home. And they about to go to the house and do the house meeting. And as soon as they get off the sprinters and arrive at the house, Shawty and Jada instantly run it. And honestly, soon off the bus, I'm not even going. That's not the focus right now. But that round is definitely not the focus, because later on in the episode, we already know what's about to happen between Jada and Shawty. Anyways. Oh, I forgot to mention one more thing. John says he doesn't agree that Shawty should go home. Pootie says, nah, I want him to go home. And they kind of had like a little goofy moment and was laughing. John was showing all 32 teeth. I don't know, but y'all been saying some things about Shawty and John and Don too. Like I said, I don't know what's true. I'm not in the bad boys' house, so I don't know what's true and what's false. But yeah, so they get to the house. They get to the basketball court. Landon is like, let's go to the basketball court. Let's handle this like bad boys. And Ant starts explaining why he wants to leave. And Landon shows no remorse. And while Ant is like pretty much dapping the dudes up, what Island Boy was saying, nobody better be dapping up nobody in this house. And Ant is dapping all the boys up in the house. I wonder, spoiler alert, is that why they fought? because Ant was dapping up everybody in the house. But yeah, it's like Ant kind of has like a breakdown because it's like it's getting too much for him, but at the same time he don't want to leave, so it's starting to become a lot. So he kind of cries a little bit or whatever, but like I said, no remorse. Landon's in his interview. Are you crying? We only known each other for 4 days. Correct. I completely understand why you crying. I would be the same way if I only known someone for a short amount of time and they start crying. But at the same time, it's like nobody has done, reality TV as much as you have done it, Landon. So I don't understand why you not showing any remorse. That was kind of mean. But yeah, that happens, and then we finally get to this fight with Shawty and Jada again, and Jada kicked that boy into 2028. I'm talking foot to chest, mouth tucked in, like he kicked him so hard. Shawty was in 2028, and I don't know, I have to give it to Shawty because he does have a lot of heart and a lot of courage to keep fighting Jada with him being a little bit smaller than Jada. And they just keep going back and forth. And I respect that. That is a bad boy. Don't back down from any fade. I don't turn down the fade. But at the same time, it don't make you a bad boy, but his courage is making him a bad boy because he's not backing down. I respect that. He got a lot of heart. But Noel says, but this is towards the end. I'm fast. Man. But after the fight, Check the Star steps up and says who wants him to go home because, Island Boy told him earlier that they want you to go home. So Check the Star is like, who wants him to go home? And all this other stuff. He's crashing out. He wants to know who said or voted for him to go home. Say something. Nobody says nothing. But Cozy steps up and says, something. He says, I don't want to run that with you because of your eyes. So Check the Star is like, I will run it if I have to, but I don't want to. And they end up fighting. I honestly don't know who won that fight or who lost, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Some of it's kind of forced in my opinion. Like, if you don't want to fight, don't fight. But, Island Boy put that battery in Check the Star's back and was like, somebody voted, they want you out the house. And Check the Star came back to the house after all of that and said, who want me out the house? But after all that, the meeting's adjourned. All the fades have been run at that moment and it's been done. And Check the Star is in the phone booth talking to someone back home and saying to that someone, I'm not going home unless they bring me out on a stretcher. Then Noel comes in and gives him a little pep talk, which is crazy because Noel voted for him the first episode. And yeah, but it is what it is. At this point, I can see that there is really no points in this season of Bad Boys. I know genuine valid points. Let's be real. Except for Pootie and Landon sticking together. But Lynx is coming out of this truck. Lynx is back from the hospital. He's coming out of this truck looking like the actresses. And then he says him and Corey could do a head up and match both of them. They can fight because they both got their hands injured. And Ant and Shawty are in like the clothing room talking, the closet talking, and he's pretty much trying to convince Ant to stay. And Shawty's like, you can't leave, not before the white boy. Honestly, we don't know what Check the Star is, white, Spanish, whatever, but he said, pretty much convincing Ant, don't go yet. You came this far to want to leave, and trust me, like, really, like, do you not know how many boys would have want to be in your position? Ant, no shade. And you decide that you want to leave. Like, you flew all the way from As much as we did in the earlier seasons, like season 1, LA, and season 2, Texas. Bye.